Hi friends, how are you guys today? I hope you guys are all having an amazing day so far. If you're not having an amazing day, maybe you can take a look at me and have a laugh and your day will get better from here on out. Welcome to my channel, you guys. My name is Shanda, and today we are going to talk about day 14 of the Johnny Depp trial. Now this was yesterday. I put out a video yesterday on the day before, and I wanted to get this done today, but today we had a color run at my daughter's school. I'm in the PTO, so I was volunteering there, and we set up this big racing course in the parking lot, and each grade came out one grade at a time, and we just doused them all in colored powdered chalk, and it is all over all of us, and I can't get it off. So I was gonna try and take a shower first, but I just really want to get this done and get it out to you guys, so that's why I look like this. So anyway, I really am glad that you guys clicked on this video. I really hope that you enjoy it, and if you don't enjoy it, I hope you at least find it informative and give it a chance. So let's go ahead and get started with day 14. Okay, you guys, so yesterday we talked about day 13, and in day 13, we talked about how Johnny rested his case. Amber, it was her turn to start the case, her side, and the first thing she did was try to get the case thrown out, and her just went automatically. That didn't work, and so they started with putting on this clinical psychologist for their first witness, and she was an expert witness, Dr. Dawn Hughes. And they ended with her testimony, and today we started with the cross examination of her, and this was done by Ben Chu, Johnny's lawyer. Okay, so when they started the cross, he asked her a lot of questions. He basically said that she has never once testified for a man when they're talking about couples having domestic violence in their relationship. She's never testified on the behalf of a man, and she said yes, she did. She's testified on the behalf of a man when it was a same-sex couple, but I don't know why she kept saying that over and over. When it's a same-sex couple, there was a man with violence against another man, and I testified on the man's behalf. Well, of course you did, because they're both men. But what they're getting at is she's never ever testified on behalf of the man when it was a man and a woman in a couple. She's always testified on behalf of the woman. So there seems to be a clear bias there in her past, like her record of testifying. She's an expert witness. She said she wasn't an expert witness, but she gets hundreds of thousands of dollars a year being a witness for the court. She said no, because a lot of them don't make it to the trial stage, but that doesn't mean that you're not making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year doing all the work to be a witness. Just because it doesn't make it to court, you're still making a ton of money being a witness. So she has never testified on behalf of a man when it was a woman and man in a relationship. And she has a track record of being pretty biased towards the woman. She said that she did all this investigation into their relationship, but she only talked to Amber for 29 hours. She's never spoke to Johnny. She's never met him. So how are you supposed to validate the relationship on both sides if you've only talked to one party? And she said, well, I've also reviewed medical records and talked to other people, so, I mean, and I've read text messages and stuff and listened to audio, so that's how I draw my conclusion without meeting or speaking to Johnny. Well, Mr. Chu went through all of the witnesses, or all of the people that she interviewed, and it turns out that she interviewed all the people that she agreed with, and she declined to interview or speak to all the people that she disagreed with. And of course, she didn't talk to Amber until after Amber was getting sued. So Amber already knew she was getting sued, so she knew what she had to say to this lady. So, I mean, she spoke to some of Amber's friends, former friends. She talked to one of her Dr. Bonnie Jacobs. She didn't talk to their marriage counselor because their marriage counselor said that she believed that there was abuse on both sides, mutual abuse, and she said she disagreed with that. Of course, it's only Johnny who was doing the abuse, even though Amber admitted to hitting him a ton. So it was only, she said she didn't interview anybody that she disagreed with, pretty much. She, everything she agreed with the people that she did talk to, she kept their testimony and she used it in her testimony. And everything she disagreed with, she completely disregarded that and left it out and didn't even mention it. So you could really see the clear bias in that. Laurel Anderson said that she did not believe Amber to be a victim of Johnny Depp's. She didn't believe her to be a victim of domestic violence at all. And of course, this lady disregarded that. And Amber's nurse said that Amber told her to her face that she had an eating disorder, and she said that she also disagreed with that because it wasn't in any notes anywhere else and it wasn't in any medical records. But when she was talking about how she was going through the medical records, she was saying she was going through medical records and this and that, but the only medical records she actually reviewed were notes from the therapist, and the therapist gets those notes from what Amber is telling them. There was no medical records anywhere of her being injured or anything like that. So she's basically saying that the therapist notes are medical records, but they're writing down what Amber is actually saying to them. So I don't consider those medical records. I consider them therapist notes. There's a difference, but she's saying those are medical records, and she reviewed all of those, and that's how she drawed her conclusion. But that all of that is just stuff that Amber said to them. But the things that she didn't agree with in the medical records, she disregarded and said that they weren't true. But why is everything else true in the medical records that Amber said, but not what you disagree with? So Amber said all this other crap in the medical records, and you agree with that and put it in your testimony, but Amber told her private nurse to her face that she has an eating disorder, and she didn't like that. So this lady disregarded that and was like, well, that I don't see that to be true. Well, why not? It's in the medical records, so why is it not true? Everything else, you found it to be true because it was in the medical records, so why isn't this true? And she said, well, it's not anywhere else in any other records. Well, neither is anything else, but I don't know. This lady, she was doing a pretty good job. You can tell she does testify a lot. She doesn't get rattled. She doesn't step. She knows exactly what to do and say and how to argue. So you can tell she is an expert witness, does this for a living. She did a pretty good job on the stand, but as you can tell, you can tell she's very biased, and she just picked and chose what she wanted to believe and put in her testimony. They also said that it says here you get paid $100 an hour, and she says, no, that's a misprint, or that's an error. And he said, well, how much do you get paid? She said $500 an hour. So and he's like, well, there's an error in here and you didn't correct it. She said, well, there's a bunch of errors in here. And he's like, okay, you didn't correct it at all? So she didn't correct any of that. She said that Amber indicated a number of times that she hit Johnny Depp, but yet that isn't severe. That isn't severe violence. It's just mild for Amber. Amber told her she admitted to a number of times that she hit Johnny and hit Johnny first. But that's not severe. That's mild because that's refractive violence or whatever, reactive violence. So basically she's saying every time Amber hit Johnny, it was in self-defense. But then they were like, well, what about this time? She admits on this audio, and they played it for her, that she was hitting him first. She's like, okay, well, that's not reactive violence. Okay, well, what about if your spouse is just taking a shot at the bar and you don't like it that he's taking a shot, so you throw a bottle of vodka at him? When that didn't hit him, you threw another bottle of vodka. Is that reactive violence? And of course, she just kept saying, no, you should never throw bottles at any time. But we don't know that's what happened here. Well, yesterday, lady, you were sitting there saying that, and Johnny kicked her in the back when she got up. Well, you weren't there, so how do you know? Why are you testifying to that as fact when you weren't there? But everything else, you're like, well, I wasn't there. So you can clearly see this witness is bought and paid for. She is a joke. She biased. She doesn't. It's like a business for her. So the test that she was saying that Amber scored a 0 on, where I said, oh, what the hell, there's no way. So they went through that test that Amber scored a 0 on and said that she would never exaggerate or malingering or anything. That test that I said was bullshit. So every single question on that test was asked in a way where it said within the last year. And that test was issued to Amber in 2019. They had been divorced since 2016. So, of course, everything was a 0 because she answered everything to be a 0 because there was nothing in the last year. So that's why she got a 0 on that test. And I love it how this lady knew that and she still said it in her testimony. That's awesome. So she also said that she took issue with Dr. Shannon Curry and her testimony, saying that Amber scored 98% out of 100 for exaggerating and basically making things up. And she said that test isn't right and she shouldn't have used that test and blah, blah, blah. And she took issue with that test. But they went through the test that she gave Amber and there was a ton of stuff that was missing. She didn't fill in any of the boxes and she kept saying, oh, well, I wrote it here on the right side, but the right side was like something else. So basically she took issue with Dr. Shannon Curry's test, but her test was not even filled in right either, is what they were saying. She also said she diagnosed Amber with PTSD before she even administered the test for PTSD. She admitted to that, but she said she could tell she had PTSD because she had the symptoms, but she diagnosed her with that without even doing any of the testing for PTSD first. So it was just a bunch of bullshit, honestly. And after her, Amber Heard herself gets on the stand. After Amber gets on the stand and she puts on this act as if she is just this little innocent girl who moved to Hollywood to be a actress and she was just taking all these little parts anywhere and she was just this little young thing and she was innocent and Johnny Depp is this big movie star and he gave her a part in the Rum Diaries and she was just still so young at the time and he gave her this part and she said that he talked to her all the time and was like basically chasing her all the time and it was weird for her. Literally, she was acting like she was this young innocent girl putting on this persona and Johnny Depp was this old big famous guy who was like taking advantage of her and just trying to chase her and mess with her and you could tell she was putting on a show. She was overacting then and then she overacted the entire time. You guys will not believe. I'll insert some clips, but I can't. Her acting was awful and she was overacting so bad the entire time. She said he was chasing her. He was always sending her all these expensive gifts and she didn't want them. So she would send it back, which I call bullshit on. I would love to see the proof of that. I call bullshit. She said he called her and asked her to come over and she said no and hung up feeling like this was so weird. It was just ridiculous. She was laying it on way too thick. You could also tell that she tried to like back up a little bit. Like she could tell she was taking it a little too far. Like she could tell she was laying it on a little thick and then she would back off of it and be like, but it was okay, I mean, I thought it was great. but you could tell, like, exactly what she was doing. She was going a little too far. She then said that Johnny showered her parents with presents and gifts, especially her dad. She said that her dad was a working man. He didn't have a lot of money, so Johnny had all the means to basically win him over with money, is what she was saying. She said he bought her dad all these presents and showered him with all these gifts all the time. And she said that when he first met her dad, he also acted like he had this southern accent that he didn't have when he spoke normally. So he was like trying to mirror her father and like shit like that. I don't know. She said that he tried to buy her a horse. She kept saying no because it was just too big of a gift. It was too extravagant. But he went behind her back pretty much and got with her dad and bought her a horse, which I don't buy that shit either at all. We heard that in the beginning. We did hear that in the beginning, how both sides said no, Amber chased Johnny. She was always mirroring him and chasing him, and he finally gave in. Well, she's trying to say, her lawyer also said that he was the one, and they talked about this in the opening statements. And now she's on the stand saying that, you know, he was the one always chasing her, and she eventually, whatever. She said the knife that she gave him said "till death" engraved on it in Latin, and she said that she thought that that was something romantic at the time, as stupid as that sounds now. Yeah, that's pretty much what it looked like. She said he always made her feel horrible about her clothes. Like, she described how they fell in love, but that's not really important. She she said he always made her feel so horrible about her clothes. Like, he would always be like, "Oh, that's what you're wearing? Okay, kid. If that's what you're going to be putting out in the world, I see." Like, stuff like that. She said he loved to smash shit. He loved to smash furniture and entire apartments. He always called her a whore. She said, she told the story about the first time he supposedly hit her about the Winona tattoo, the wino tattoo, and it was absolutely absurd. She said he slapped her, and she started laughing because she thought it was a joke, and he slapped her again. "Is that funny, bitch? Is that funny, bitch?" And then she said he slapped her again. She finally fell, and she said it changed her life forever. She was on the ground looking at the dirty carpet, and I never realized that this carpet was that dirty before. And I just remember looking at this dirty carpet like, okay, lady, the fucking acting was horrific, and now I see why she hasn't had any large roles very much. She kept doing this vivid emotion recall. It's vivid sensory recall, I think it's called, and it's one of the top symptoms for PTSD. So she kept doing it. Like, I just remember breathing and watching my breath go in and out slowly, like shit like that. It was bad, and it's almost like that was perfect. That's exactly what it says in the books about the vivid sensory recall. That was perfect. Just a little too perfect, though, I think. It really looked like Amber was heavily coached on her testimony. I'm sure she's done research on battered woman syndrome. She's done research on rape trauma syndrome. All of those things she was describing is from all of those. And it was a little too perfect, and her acting was absolutely horrible. I'll show you guys. I
was just sitting there on this carpet, looking at the dirty carpet, wondering how I wound up on this carpet and why I never noticed that the carpet was so filthy before, and I just didn't know what else to do. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to react. I just sat there thinking, how much time do I have till I figure out what I need to do? Because, God, did he just hit me? No, I didn't want to leave him. I didn't want this to be the reality. I didn't want to have the man I was in love with. I know you don't come back from that. You know, I'm not dumb. I know you can't hit a woman. You can't hit a man.
I fucking was hitting you.
You can't hit anyone. You can't just hit somebody because
I was hitting you.
I knew it was wrong, and I knew that I had to leave him. And that's what broke my heart, because I didn't want to leave him. I thought if I got up out of that room, I'd leave the best thing that ever happened to me. And I wish I could sit here and say I stood up and I walked out of that house and I drew a line and I stood up for myself. But I was just looking at the dirty carpet trying to will myself to get up. And I felt like I sat there forever. I didn't want to turn the key. I just leaned my head up against the window. And I remember just seeing my breath on the windshield, on the glass of the window of the door, just seeing my breath and trying to will myself to have the strength to know what I should do in this moment, because I was heartbroken.
So you can tell that she practiced for a long time for this, and she just kept looking directly at the jury as if she was just you could tell. And she was saying Johnny Depp on speed is different from Johnny Depp on cocaine, and Johnny Depp on alcohol, Johnny Depp on opiates. She was just trying so hard to make him look horrible to the jury. And every time she describes an event, she's hyperventilating, and she's trying so hard to cry, but there was never one tear, not one tear that came out. It was pathetic. You can tell it was fake. So Johnny, when he told his story, I remember when he told his story, he was trying not to cry. He was not really looking up. He didn't look at the jury. He was trying not to cry, and he actually did have tears that he was trying to hide, but not the hyperventilating, the looming long looks to the jury, just making him look like an ass. He didn't do any of that shit, but she is over here pulling all of that shit. So if I was to sit here and say, who do I think is telling the truth? If I just watch 20 minutes of Johnny's and 20 minutes of Amber's, who do you think is telling the truth? Well, the person trying not to cry, who actually had tears, or the person trying to hyperventilate and squeeze out a tear so hard and they couldn't. That's just me, or blah, blah, blah. So she just literally sat there and overhyped it, overacted, hyperventilated, tried so hard to cry, tried so hard to make him look bad the whole time. And that is basically what she did the entire time. And they stopped their testimony for the day. Today, they are continuing with her testimony. Johnny was on the stand for 4 days, so she might be on the stand for around the same time, maybe more. So we will see. I'm sure today she is on the stand all day long today. So I'm going to edit this, get it out for you guys. So that was pretty much it. She just acted like a fool the entire time and just kept trying to cry and couldn't, and just trying to make him look so bad. And they ended the day. So today they are doing court again. So I will listen to that tonight after I edit this. And I will film it tomorrow and edit it tomorrow and hopefully get it out for you guys tomorrow night, and then we'll have the weekend to kind of breathe for a minute. But and then maybe on the weekend you guys can go through and get up to date with everything that happened in the week. I'm not gonna say all that. So all it takes is one sympathetic juror. So Johnny was on the stand for about 4 days when he testified. So she'll probably be on the stand for the same amount of time, if not longer. So we'll just have to see what the rest of her testimony, she is actually testifying right now as we speak. So I'm going to edit this for you guys, get it out for you guys, and then tomorrow or tonight I will listen to the entire court case of today because I had to miss it. And I'll listen to everything. I'll take my notes and I'll film tomorrow, edit it tomorrow night, hopefully get it out for you guys tomorrow night or Saturday morning, and then we'll have the rest of the weekend to kind of go through everything and get up to speed with what happened all week, and then we'll start again next week. So I will start working on the next video as fast as I can for you guys. So that is everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys liked it, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps, and I appreciate it so, so much. If you guys like this video and like content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and I'd love to have you guys in the family. And that's everything for today, you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. And remember, guys, in a world where you can be anything, please be kind to each other. Love you guys. Bye.